Robbie Pardlo, the soulful voice behind the 2001 R&B hit What Would You Do, has died at just 46 years old. On July 17, 2025, the lead singer of City High passed away in Willingboro, New Jersey, leaving fans in the music world stunned. Known for his raw, emotional storytelling, Robbie's sudden death has reopened painful conversations about the struggles many artists face behind the scenes. Though the official cause of death remains unconfirmed, he was hospitalized 2 days prior due to heart complications. This tragic loss reminds us of a talented artist whose powerful voice touched millions, but whose personal battles remained largely unseen. As fans mourn, they are revisiting the legacy of a man who gave voice to hardship and resilience through his music. Back in 2001, City High rose to fame with their Grammy-nominated single, What Would You Do?, a song that challenged listeners with a gritty narrative about survival and sacrifice. Robbie Pardlo, the group's lead vocalist, wasn't just a singer. He was a storyteller whose lyrics reflected real-life struggles with addiction, love, and loss. Raised in Willingboro alongside his Pulitzer Prize-winning brother Gregory Pardlo, Robbie's life was a complex mix of creative brilliance and personal challenges. While his brother excelled in poetry, Robbie's path in music was marked by early success, heartbreaking setbacks, and a long journey of recovery. In 2010, Robbie opened up about his battle with alcoholism on the reality show Intervention, revealing how the pressures of fame and personal heartbreak pushed him into a dark spiral. After City High disbanded and his relationship with groupmate Claudette Ortiz ended, Robbie struggled to find stability. Yet those close to him remember a man of immense talent, determination, and quiet strength, committed to rebuilding his life for the sake of his wife Anika and their 2 children. Now, as the music world grieves his passing, Robbie Pardlo's story serves as a powerful reminder of the cost behind the spotlight and the lasting impact of an artist who used his voice to tell stories that matter. Despite the early success and widespread acclaim, Robbie Pardlo's journey was anything but smooth. The path from the peak of fame with City High to his eventual struggles was marked by a series of personal and professional challenges that would test even the strongest spirits. After the group's sudden rise in 2001, which saw them nominated for a Grammy and propelled into the mainstream spotlight, the pressures of the music industry began to mount. Behind the scenes, Robbie faced the heavy burden of maintaining relevance, managing the demands of fame, and navigating complex interpersonal relationships within the group and beyond. Unlike many of his contemporaries who enjoyed long-lasting careers, Robbie's time in the limelight was brief but intense, and the transition out of that world was anything but graceful. One of the most significant conflicts in Robbie's life was his struggle with addiction. Following City High's dissolution in the early 2000s, he found himself grappling with loneliness, depression, and the harsh realities of life outside the spotlight. In 2010, Robbie courageously shared his battle with alcoholism on the reality show Intervention, exposing his vulnerability to millions of viewers. His candidness shocked fans, but also highlighted the often unseen struggles many artists face once their fame fades. His relapse, which was partly triggered by the breakup with fellow group member Claudette Ortiz, underscored how intertwined his personal and professional lives had been. The addiction wasn't just a private battle, it was a public spectacle that threatened to consume him entirely. The music industry's response to Robbie's challenges further deepened the conflict. Like many artists who face addiction and mental health issues, Robbie encountered a lack of support and understanding from record labels and executives who were often more focused on profitability than the well-being of their talent. The stigma surrounding substance abuse and the industry's relentless pace made recovery difficult. Many insiders noted that Robbie's career momentum stalled because he was labeled troubled, limiting opportunities for new projects or collaborations. Despite his undeniable talent and the loyalty of a dedicated fan base, the industry's cold shoulder amplified his isolation, compounding the personal battles he fought daily. Family dynamics added another layer to Robbie's complex conflict. His brother Gregory Pardlo, a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet, achieved significant literary success, which, while a source of pride, also cast a long shadow over Robbie's own artistic journey. Navigating this dynamic was emotionally taxing, as Robbie struggled with feelings of inadequacy and comparison. Yet, the brothers maintained a close bond, with Gregory often speaking publicly about his brother's creative genius and pain. Robbie's own family life, with his wife Anika and their 2 children, offered hope and stability. But balancing fatherhood with personal demons was a constant challenge. The love and responsibility he felt for his family often clashed with the pull of addiction and despair, creating an internal conflict that was difficult to reconcile. Moreover, Robbie's voice, once a beacon of truth and hardship, became a reminder of the fragility of success. Songs like What Would You Do weren't just hits, they were testimonies of survival, yet the artists behind them seemed to be caught in a cycle of self-destruction. His attempts to return to music in later years were sporadic, hindered by health issues and the psychological scars left by his struggles. The conflict between his desire to create and the obstacles he faced was a poignant reflection of the broader challenges many artists endure when confronting fame, mental health, and recovery. In sum, Robbie Pardlo's life post-fame was a battle on multiple fronts, against addiction, industry neglect, personal loss, and the expectations placed upon him by both himself and the world. This intense conflict shaped not only his later years, but also the way his legacy will be remembered. A gifted artist whose voice echoed real pain and resilience, yet whose own story was marked by tragic struggles behind the scenes. At the height of Robbie Pardlo's battle, the tension between hope and despair reached a breaking point. Following years of struggling with addiction and the toll it took on his personal and professional life, Robbie faced a critical moment that would define the final chapter of his journey. Hospitalized in mid-July 2025 due to serious cardiac complications, his fragile health became a visible symbol of the price he paid for a life lived under extreme pressures. The days leading up to his passing were filled with uncertainty and a palpable sense of urgency from those closest to him. Family members, friends, and former collaborators gathered around, hoping for a miracle, holding on to memories of a man who had inspired so many with his honesty and artistic voice. This climax was not only medical, but deeply emotional. For Robbie, the years of fighting addiction were compounded by the emotional weight of past regrets and unrealized dreams. The very essence of his identity, his voice, his music, was both a source of pride and a reminder of the chasm between where he was and where he had hoped to be. The conflict between his public persona and private pain became most acute during this time. Those who visited him in the hospital recounted moments of clarity, where Robbie expressed a longing to be remembered not just for his struggles, but for the art and impact he left behind. His wife Anika and children became his anchor, offering him love and strength amid the storm. Meanwhile, fans and fellow artists watched in shock and sorrow. Social media exploded with tributes, sharing clips of "What Would You Do?" and recalling the raw power of his lyrics. The music community recognized Robbie's courage in exposing his vulnerabilities, knowing too well how few artists survive such battles unscathed. Articles and podcasts dissected his career, his contributions to R&B, and the lessons his life offered about mental health and addiction. The spotlight that once seemed to abandon him now shone in a different way, illuminating the need for compassion and support for artists beyond their moments of fame. In the end, Robbie's passing marked the climax of a life lived with fierce intensity and painful honesty. His death was not just the loss of a talented artist, but the closing of a chapter that invites reflection on the human cost of fame, the resilience required to face personal demons, and the enduring power of storytelling through music. The climax of his story is a reminder that behind every hit song is a complex, fragile human being, and that the battles fought away from the spotlight are often the hardest of all. Family has played a central role in shaping Robbie's enduring legacy. His wife, Anika, and their 2 children represent the personal love and support that grounded him through turbulent times. Meanwhile, the relationship with his brother Gregory Pardlo, a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet, highlighted the power of family bonds and shared creativity, even amid individual struggles. Gregory's public tributes have illuminated not only Robbie's talent, but also the deep love and respect between them. These family connections offer a hopeful resolution, showing that, even in loss, there is a foundation of love that endures and heals. The industry and fans alike are now called to a moment of reckoning. Robbie's story urges a reevaluation of how the music world supports its artists, particularly those who grapple with mental health and addiction. His untimely death serves as a catalyst to foster greater empathy, more robust care networks, and open conversations about the human cost of fame. Fans continue to celebrate his contributions by revisiting City High's work, sharing memories, and advocating for artist wellness. Tributes from fellow musicians and public figures echo a collective commitment to honor his life, not just with nostalgia, but with meaningful change. Ultimately, Robbie Pardlo's life and death leave a powerful message. They remind us that behind every hit song is a human story filled with complexity, pain, and perseverance. His legacy challenges us to listen more deeply, not only to the music, but to the person behind it. As the world remembers him, Robbie's voice remains a clarion call for compassion, resilience, and the enduring power of truth through art. His story is a testament that while fame may fade, the impact of genuine storytelling endures forever.